There's big changes unveiled today in Queensland when it comes to their energy policy. I want to look at it because it's very important for Queensland, but also very impactful on what's happening around the country. Let's catch up with Graham Lloyd, who's the environment editor at the Australian newspaper. Good to talk to you again, Graham. Just give us an outline of what Queensland's decided to do. They're sort of calling time on the full-on renewables push and getting back to some fossil fuel energy.
Yes, good evening, Chris. It's really a bit of a turning point because, like other places, the long-term Labor government in Queensland went all in on the renewables push. And with the change of government, the Crisafulli government has come in and has had a look at it. It's been a few months, but now they've outlined their plan for a 5-year plan to really take stock and take control of the energy sector. And that involves investing in the coal generators that currently provide 60% of Queensland's electricity and building a new gas peaker plant to back up the renewables that's there and scrap a lot of the overblown promises that were made for pumped hydro and other things and put a bit of discipline back into how the private sector interacts with the state to deliver any renewable projects that may be there. If you look at it holistically, it's a pragmatic approach that says, well, preserve what you've got and make a better plan, which is something that's probably been missing nationally up to this point.
Yeah, it strikes me as a really welcome reality check. As you say, the renewables and those forms of energy will stay in place and people can still invest in that, but they're prioritising security of supply and keeping prices down by sticking with what we know works. Here's the Treasurer.
We've been saying for some time that coal-fired generation is an important part of the stability of the grid. As we progress the energy roadmap, a key part of that is understanding coal-fired generators' lifespans, technical lifespans, because we will not abandon Queenslanders and give them higher power bills at a time when they can least afford it.
Graham, it strikes me that under the Crisafulli government, they're just acting sooner and more wisely because we've seen in other states sort of last-minute bids to keep coal and subsidise coal-powered generators to keep going when they've sort of realised at the 11th hour that they're going to be running out of power. Queensland's acting a little bit more, a little bit more precipitously.
Yes, I think that's right, Chris. They've got the advantage that they own the generators through sort of corporatised companies, so they can direct them what to do. But the main thing is they've said, look, we need to de-risk this transition. Because what we're seeing elsewhere and was looming in Queensland, that there's a lot of risk that things are going to fail and the buck stops with the state. So they've made the decision, well, let's get ahead of the curve. And they're doing it in a timely fashion.
Now, of course, Queensland's part of the national electricity grid. It links into New South Wales and sometimes sends electricity south. So if this secures more supply in Queensland and keeps prices low, that should help the other states as well. New South Wales, Victoria, South Australia and even Tasmania.
Yeah, that's right. This is a good thing. To have some stability of supply somewhere is going to help everybody. And if you look, I mean, Queensland's supplying the East Coast with gas. It's got the youngest and best performing coal fleet, and that looks like that's going to continue unless other jurisdictions sort of take the same pragmatic decisions.
It's also another indication as if we needed it, although Peter Dutton wouldn't buy into that when I interviewed him earlier in the program, but that is that net zero by 2050 in this country, if anywhere, is just not happening, is it?
Well, the message that's been sent with this decision here is, look, we're going to form our targets to represent the reality of what's going on. I think the pragmatic comment was made, we're going to remain committed to a 2050 net zero target because that's what liberates international capital for investment. Now, we'll see whether that investment is available, and 2050 is a long time away, but Queensland's certainly going to revisit the 2030, 2035 targets and others because they don't want to be put into the pressure situation when decisions that are not in the interest of sort of taxpayers and state residents are made because of these artificial deadlines that have been set.
Yeah, thanks so much for joining us, Graham. Fantastic explanation. Appreciate it. Graham Lloyd, the environment editor at the Australian newspaper.